There are plenty of agencies that want to hire more workers, but there's one agency that needs to hire more because if they don't, it's considered an urgent safety risk. This is the 40-year-old problem that the FAA has been experiencing. The FAA is the Federal Aviation Administration that currently employs about 45,000 employees, but it's not anywhere close to enough. A recent review by the Safety Review Team, they found that the employees were being stretched too thin, and critical redundancies are being eliminated. In the last couple of years, there's already been 10 documented safety incidences that have occurred. So what do you do if you're in management or leadership and you're not able to hire enough people? Well, it's one word. You have to use overtime. You have to pay people to stay longer at work. You just throw money at the problem, hope it fixes itself, but it's not working. Right now, overtime use, it's at an all-time high in the FAA. If you're looking to get paid more money every pay cycle, every paycheck, this could be a good thing, right? You're thinking this is a great thing. But what happens is if you keep on using overtime, you keep tapping on the overtime button, eventually it leads to more absences, lower productivity, and increased fatigue. Right now, there's fewer eyes on the airspace. Quicker decisions have to be made, and that results in more errors. And the people that we have as supervisors over there, sometimes they can't even do their duty. They can't even fulfill the responsibilities in that role because they're too busy doing the worker role because the worker isn't there. They don't have the worker. They haven't hired the employee to be the worker. So they're over there hitting the actual keyboard, inputting the actual information into the system instead of planning for operations, trying to develop, trying to plan for the next training cycle, the next training rotation. When is that happening? It's impacting the agency as a whole. So how did we get here? Well, if you look back about 40 years ago, there was a huge strike for air traffic controllers. And what President Reagan did is he pretty much got rid of all of them. So from that point, the next huge wave of retirees happened around 2005. And the backfill effort never happened, partly because of funding, partly because of a human capital plan that wasn't put into place, but they weren't able to get enough people into the roles. And when it comes to hiring waves, this is not FAA exclusive. Every agency should have a human capital strategy, a human capital plan that looks to backfill. When we have a large amount of people retiring, those positions need to be filled. So oftentimes you could see like a 12-month roster or a similar job announcement where it's open for the entire year, and they're pretty much stocking up on qualified candidates that they can easily put into a role that's empty, that's missing, that they can plug it. This year, FAA has 1,000 less air traffic controllers than they had last year. COVID made it worse. Another thing that's serving as a bottleneck that makes it even more difficult to get more air traffic controllers is there's only one FAA Academy that you have to go through. If you don't know it, the FAA is under the Department of Transportation. So let's get on USAJobs right now and take a look and see what's open, what's available. Right now, there are 250 total jobs in the FAA. 100 of them are open to the public, meaning anyone can apply. The first 20 or 30 jobs are mainly direct hire jobs, which is good news for people that don't already have a special hiring path. Direct hire, in theory, makes it easier and quicker for an agency to bring a person on. So HR isn't such an obstacle. It's not impeding process as it could be in other situations. Your resume can go directly to the hiring manager, and if the hiring manager agrees that you're qualified, he can interview you, and the whole thing is expedited. Another thing is direct hire, it circumvents veterans preference, meaning that someone that has veterans preference doesn't necessarily need to be hired over you. So it really comes down to your qualifications. And this is one of the reasons that if you're not a veteran, and if you're not disabled, and if you're not Native American, then you should probably focus on direct hire jobs. Also, these job announcements, they start off with public notice. These are open for 12 months. This is just like the 12-month announcement I was talking about earlier, where you can apply one time and then be considered 10, 11, 12 different times throughout the year. You can even elect for a lot of these for your resume and your job application to be shared with other offices and sometimes even other agencies. If you are interested in air traffic control, It's in the 2152 job series, and there are 40 jobs open in this series. One of the things that you will notice by looking at some of these job announcements, they are not on the GS pay scale. So that allows them to get paid more than, say, a GS 15. In some cases, this can be over $200,000 a year. Of course, if you're interested in being an air traffic controller, but you have no experience, there are some job announcements that are for trainees as part of the aviation development program. There are a lot of interesting things about this type of job announcement. I'm going to go ahead and highlight a few areas that I noticed. This is a temporary assignment because it represents the time you spend receiving basic air traffic control training. Also, there's a secret clearance requirement and a drug test. To qualify for this type of position, you do not need a college degree, but you would need 3 years of work experience, or you could have a combination. You could have, say, 1 or 2 years of college and then 1 year of work experience, something like that. But if you scroll down here, here's the real shocker. You cannot be any older than 30 years old. So they don't want me, maybe they don't want you. But if you're over 30 years old, there are some positions that you can still apply for. There are close to 50 administrative positions and about 40 or so engineering positions. As long as the FAA stays at a decent level of funding, I can see them doing a lot of hiring in 2024. Because what will end up happening if they don't start hiring people in these critical roles, it is going to delay flight travel. They will reach out to airlines and say, hey, listen, we can't maintain the coverage. So you're going to need to do less flights. And if you think about supply and demand, less flights means more demand. So this could be more costly plane tickets for you in the upcoming future. All right, if you're still looking for a federal government job, but you're wondering, will the salary be enough? Can the salary match my lifestyle, match my expectations, or is it just simply too low? If that's a question that's on your mind, I want you to watch this video next. If you would like to see more videos like this, please click like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.